Hey, it's Barry Mold, still getting your small business unstuck, and I'm here to talk to you today about a very important topic, and that's how to manage your revenue, your expenses, and all those products you keep in inventory to make more money. It used to be in the olden days that it was very easy to track your inventory because you had one store and you could see what there was there, or maybe you had multiple stores. But now we not only have retail brick and mortar stores, we also have stores associated with our websites. And in fact, we also sell things in marketplaces like eBay and Amazon. So you got to know what you're selling there and what inventory you have. And to make things even more complicated, some businesses not only sell to retail customers, but they sell to wholesale ones. So you need to have different prices for those folks and maybe a different inventory. Whatever it is, you've got to make sure that your inventory actually matches what it says on your website and those marketplace websites, because customers want to know, is that product in stock and when are they going to get it? You have to give them all the things they purchased. You've got to track their sales and give them the shipping information, because guess what? They have very high expectations because Amazon and Apple have really set the trend for what people expect when they have an online experience. And you got to remember, no one just wants to buy your product anymore. It's a commodity. They can get that anywhere. What they want is, what's most important is these two letters, which is CX. They want authentic customer experience in buying from your company so they can brag about it to all their friends. And that's exactly what you want. So if you're going to make a lot of moolah for your company, you've got to make sure that you manage your customer sales and inventory right, with the right process and the right tools to supercharge your people. Now, have you ever run a warehouse? Well, I have. And as my son always says, when I ask him about how things are going with his girlfriend, he says, Dad, it's complicated. In your warehouse, it can get pretty complicated pretty fast because you've got to do a lot of things right to satisfy the customer. You've got to make sure that you purchase the products you're going to sell, and then you have to receive them, and perhaps you have to assemble them together in kits. You then have to put them away, and then when the customer actually orders the product, you've got to find it in that location. You got to pick it, you got to ship it, and you got to pack it. And whoops, what happens if the customer is not satisfied? What happens if they want to send it back to you? You then need to process the return and process a refund, and maybe you've got to send it back to the manufacturer. Is this one of those easy DIY things? No, it's not. It can get really hard, especially if your major goal is to give the best customer experience to the people buying from you, because you've got to figure out, what level of inventory should you actually hold? What is the fill rate do people expect? How often is the inventory actually going to be in stock? And then when do you reorder that inventory? That's called the reorder point. And how much should you actually reorder at one time? That's the reorder quantity. You've got to do these things right, because if you don't, all of your cash that you've made in your business is going to be tied up in your inventory, and there's not going to be any money left over for anything else. So the key thing is, you've got to make sure that you have the right processes, the right tools, and the right people to make the money. The other issue is, we always say when there's a problem, it goes, well, there's an app for that. And that works really well in the consumer world as they try to solve individual problems. But for the small business owner who says there's an app for that, well, yeah, there's an app for that that solves this problem. There's an app for that that solves that problem. There's an app for that that solves that problem. But then none of those apps ever talk together. So what do you end up with? Duplicate data and no company view. And that's a problem, because the customer inside your company sees themselves as one person. Not a purchasing customer, not as a shipping customer, not as a follow-up how you doing customer. They're one person, so you have to have a holistic view of them. And if you have different systems doing different things, it makes for a lot of mistakes, a lot of frowning faces. So if you have orders of inventory from multiple locations and you need to manage your inventory, one thing you got to do is you have to sign up for my free webinar with Zoho. And all you got to do is click below and you can get signed up. So go ahead and do that now. click below and sign up. We hope to see you there.